Hi, I'm Donna Dewberry. I'm in the, excuse me, I'm Donna Dewberry and I'm in the studio here at Plaid, and I am so excited to be on the Plaid craft break with you today. And I'm having the opportunity today to share a brand new Let's Paint kit for 2023. And so it's been pretty exciting. We have always had great kits that come out every year for quite a few years now, from Flowers of the Month, which was very popular, so this might spark your interest, to Wreaths of the Month, Hometown, Birds and Blossoms, and now today we're doing A to Z of one-stroke painting. And what you're gonna love are there are 50 lessons that Plaid has filmed me doing for you guys that go along with this kit. So it's a bonus. It's gonna be going anytime you want to the Plaid, what is it, the Plaid Crafts YouTube channel, right? We've got Chris Williams right here helping me through with any questions that you might have and to help us get the correct information on things and help keep me straight. So on the Plaid Crafts YouTube is where I go and I hit Donna Dewberry when I'm on the craft site to find all the stuff that I do. But what's wonderful are these are popping up like every other day. I'm so excited because there's 50 of them. And so Dylan and I here at the studio got all those films done just for you guys, all the videos ready so that you can pull out what's special in this kit. So let me share with you what this kit is this year. So we always try to give you something that will touch and inspire you to do something that you might have always wanted to do. So this kit is for that beginner that has always said, I just wish I could do stroke work. I wish I could paint flowers. And I wish I did better leaves. And you know what? Flowers and a lot of techniques are a little bit more difficult. You have to blend and shade and do things to make it really look like the flower. But with one stroke painting, I've got 50 flowers here that I'm showing you stroke work to do that makes that flower look like the flower we're talking about, where people aren't going to go, what flower is that? I might forget the name of the flower, but there's no doubt to me when I look at it, oh, I know what flower that is. That's the flower I have in my garden, or I saw at a garden center by my house. So I want you to think about what your desire is about painting. And if you were a beginner out there or a seasoned painter and you want to paint something that is blending, shading, and highlighting in one stroke, I'm going to show you today how that's possible. And so inside the kits, we make sure here at Plaid that you have all the supplies except for the surface that you need. This time we even have a surface in this kit, and this surface is storage. And you know, this storage is a nice, really nice unfinished wood box, and it's got quality wood, which I love. And it's not those inexpensive ones with little grooves on it where it doesn't paint well. And when you open this up, what's going to be inside, let me share with you this. It has, you can put your brushes right in there, 50 reusable teaching guides, and I'll tell you more about those in a minute. And when you get through, you can do your own little painting on top of your box and customize it. Here's a couple that I've done. I just want to show those to you really quick. And this box inside, like I said, all 50 of the flowers from A to Z. So we say that because it's like the whole ramen of a ton of flowers alphabetically in here. And that makes it really easy because whenever I'm looking for the flower I want to paint, I just pull it out here and we keep it A to Z, which you ought to do. I'm not good about stuff like that, but I have done it with mine, so I can go to it so quickly. Right here is going to have your colors and the brushes that we're using, and so you can replace something if you not sure, but also not sure if you ran out and you need more. So when you start with these reusable teaching guides, if you've never used these before, I'm going to share with you how to use it. I want you to know that on the front of each one, it's going to show you the flower that you're doing. And this is the hibiscus, so I went under H to find that. And on the front, I have pulled all the paint colors I need and the brushes. And when you turn it over, look what's going to happen here. This is like having me at home with you. So you've got the video. These are the actual size strokes. And I actually paint on this in the videos and help you see how to use each one. Excuse me. You take and load the brush, multi-load the brush. I'm going to show you the loading process today. And you stroke here to see if it looks like my stroke. And then you paint this great little petal. And when you feel comfortable, you've got 5 petals. And I show you how to put them together to make it happen. And then how to put a little bit of greenery in it. So the way we do this is, so I heard today the #1 thing that people buy when they go to the store and want to do some craft is the surface first. And then they have to have all the stuff to make it happen. So you might know that you really want to paint a hibiscus, but then you're like, how do I learn how to paint that hibiscus? Well, we've got it all right here for you. So if you look through these and find that flower you want, especially if you know a surface or have a surface in your home. I used to love to go through and find some surface I thought was really good from times back, and then find this flower that you want. And then we have brushes. Okay, so you get your box, so that's a great surface, your 50 reusable teaching guides, and 5 new brushes. Now, what you're going to love about these brushes is we have 2 of the flat brushes. One is a 3/4 flat, a 12 flat, and so we've got a large and a big leaf for petal. Then we have a 2 script liner. Really quality brushes, quality handles. I'm telling you, when you pick these up, you feel the quality in it. So here's something that we put in new, which is a 5/8 in this 5-piece grouping. So there's a 5/8 brush and a scruffy brush. So all synthetic nylon, quality brushes, silver ferrule. And then this brush is my scruffy. I created the scruffy brush. It's a 1/2-inch scruffy brush, natural hair. So on this one, you have to fluff the scruffy. All right, so you start all the other brushes we wet and then dry off or whatever as we get ready to load. This brush we paint dry. So you do clean it in water, but we paint with this dry. So I want you to go inside the bristles and pull them out and fluff it. So it looks like a little makeup brush when it's all fluffed out. And I do actually have 3 sizes, but this one is in between. This is a 1/2-inch. So now to make this whole kit complete, what we want to have is the paints that my go-to paints, because I like the luscious, creamy, rich colors. And it's like these paints were just made for one stroke, but I know lots of people like them for other techniques. But I have to tell you that when it says multi-surface, that means it goes on metal, glass, ceramic, wood, indoor, outdoor. I use it on clay pots. You can use it on fabric, greeting cards. There's all kinds of things you can use this paint on, just like the title of the name. So it's Folk Art Multi-Surface Paint. It's got a sealer in it, just remember that. And it makes it stay on glass and all kinds of ceramics and all really well. Paint on mirrors. I mean, it's endless what you can paint on. And then we have the floating medium that's inside this paint. So if you're new to one-stroke painting and you don't know, we only really put water in our brush when we're using our script liner, and the rest of the time we're using Folk Art. We're using Folk Art multi. I'm going too fast. We're using Folk Art floating medium, and so I keep a lot of Folk Art floating medium around because I use it a lot, and we even have big bottles at Plaid here. So you have all 10 colors that make it possible for you to paint every one of the 50 flowers in here. So all the colors that we used in these 50 flowers are right here in front of you. 10 colors. So you have the 10 colors in the floating medium, and I remember the name. And we have 50 cards. And did you remember in the beginning, I said 50 online lessons. And those that Dylan and I worked on, these online lessons make it possible for you to paint the reusable teaching guide along with me. So the good thing about that, you can stop, practice, turn it on, start again. So that's the beauty of having them on YouTube. So it's Plaid Crafts on YouTube, and when you, the YouTube channel, and when you go there, you can just look up for whatever flower that you want. You can put it in the search there for it. And the thing is it's always there. You don't have to download it or anything. It's there for you to go. All right. So I wanted to take a few minutes. I think, is there anything I'm missing, Chris, that we wanted to tell about? I can just start painting?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
People love to watch you paint.
All right. So I'm using my double loader. I have my brush basin. All right. Oh, you can see it. We're still over. No, we're not overhead.
Would you like to
Yes.
go overhead? Sure.
Yes. Okay. So we are using my brush caddy and what brush basin, and what you will see with this is we're going to wet it each time, lay it on the paper towel, and get the excess water out of it. But right here's a groove for you to keep the brushes from bending on the bottom of the basin. My very first water basin was a cup, and it would bend the tips of our bristles. So this is wonderful for that. We also, even the big handles fit into these little rests on the side here. And we also have a rake so that your big brush will rake really good in here. So the silver part of the brush is the ferrule, and you don't want to let paint dry in that ferrule. So make sure you clean them really good and lay them out so that they can dry in between use, okay? So this is the double loader, and the palette that I'm showing you here, the palette will hold a foam plate and or this double loader. Now I do have a lid for the double loader, which I don't have here right now, but it covers it with a sponge and a lid on it. And this, you can close up the paint and use it over and over, your leftover paint, and not have to throw it away each time. This palette will hold like accordion on my paper towels. It holds your brushes if you're standing at your easel. And I put like medium in one, and because you only need that sometimes, and I put teeny bit of water here if I'm using my liner, and I can stand at my easel and with ease and work on this. So I made it to put a foam plate in there, or you could take and stick this. Look at this. You go under here, you just drop it and twist it a little bit. Okay, so now we want to be overhead. Miss Chris.
You already are overhead.
Oh, so I'm looking and showing it to the camera. Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let me show you about double loading, because the most important thing about my technique is how to load the brush. And if you've got the brush loaded, then that's the first part. You don't have success unless you get the brush loaded well. So I'm going to show you how fun it is to make this happen. Any of the flat brushes or the angle brush, you can come right here between the two colors, and you're going to go just like that and split your brush. I can do it in half, I can do it 2/3 and 1/3, and see, I've got a lot of paint on there. Now I'm going to go right over here, and I'm going to really, with lots of pressure and fast, I'm going to work this into the bristles. Okay, so I need to get the paint inside the bristles, or they will split when I go to do my strokes. And so you want to fill it up first, then you go right back here and pick up more paint again. And this time you just want the surface of the brush to be nice and smooth and blended. So most people can't believe how much paint I have on that brush. See, lots of paint. Now I can multi-load this by picking up, it's multi-loaded by the time we work it in, because it goes from dark green to light yellow. But now I'm going to add just the third color that I add, so that when you're stroking, I want you to see when you stroke this, you have all the shades in between that dark green, a little bit of lighter green and yellow together. And that's the double loading that we need, or the multi-loading we need. So then you're all set to add a little bit of floating medium straight in, just a teeny bit. And sometimes when we're stroking, we might have plenty of paint but still have a dry corner only. So if that corner was dry, I would just dip the corner. All right, so I want you to watch that over and over when you go and try to figure out about loading when you try to figure out double loading, multi-loading. I have all kinds of videos that help show you to do that so you can get blending, shading, and highlighting in each stroke. Isn't that fun? So, and I showed earlier today, we had a little break earlier where we were putting different strokes with the same brush, and there's just a few strokes. If you get those strokes down, you will feel how easy it is to accomplish what we're trying to paint. So I wanted to grab a couple of the worksheets and show you. I want to put a sunflower, thistle, and a hibiscus together. Look at those colors. And because it's coming up, wow, we got July, some summer months. So I want you to see right here on this mat board. So a few people have asked me, what are you doing when you're doing your lessons that we've been watching? And because they just started coming out, and it's a mat board that has, Chris rolled on these for me with parchment. And so parchment, folk art, multi-surface parchment, we roll on there, and it gives a nice sheen. And as you're painting, if you make a stroke you don't like, well, it's still wet, you can wipe it right off, guys. All right, so I put the teaching guides right here so we can try this first one. All right, so let's do a hibiscus first. I think we got enough time to just do a few flowers here. All right, so I used red. Now, I don't have these next to each other, but I can pick up the moon yellow and come over here and pick them both up. Oops. And I'm going to work it in. Okay, so now I've got all that color worked in there good, so I can still now dip over here and stroke here. Now I just lay it down, right? And this kind of controls you so you don't have it all over your plate, because then you're taking off the paint you just loaded. But if you're just flattening it here, then the paint's still right there and we can keep loading in that spot. So let's try this one first. Okay, now here's the flower in person. All right, so I tell you to come here and practice that. And then you're gonna slide here, wiggle, a nice smooth movement and pull down. Now you can take the corner of the brush to stroke up to fill in this area. And then, well, I've got that same color there. I'm going to try this. So I touch and I pull down. So it's 1, I need some more yellow here. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then I can put some calyx around it. So you practice that with a 12. All right, so let's wipe this off. Got red on here. All right, I want to take and wet my paper towel, guys, and we are going to wipe this right off. And you can paint the whole flower here where you're practicing, or you can use paper. And I use some cardstock to practice on lots of times. All right, so here we go. Now, you can trace this pattern, trace that, and trace it on here if that makes you more comfortable. Just the petal shapes, because that's a good way to get started. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna remind myself to remind yourself, look what you're gonna do. You're gonna put this right here in front of you, okay? And I'm gonna come over here and pick up more paint and then work it in. Now, because I'm on here, I'm gonna get a little bit of medium. There you go. And so I thought we would put one of these here first. So here we go. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, I think. All right, so we're gonna come out here from the center. See how you have nice shading already? So the fun is practicing on these cards. It does take practice when somebody says, it doesn't look like yours. Well, I'm not saying it's going to be magic, but it is kind of magic when you put all that color. Look, if I don't like what I did, I just come back over here and pick up more paint. I did that on purpose so I can show you. You're going to pick up paint, you're going to go right back over here and slide it back in. Whoops, I'm making this pretty big to put a sunflower on here too. Maybe we won't make large stems. Okay, so see how that blends? Now I can go here and say, oh, that's too small. And then you fill it in. All right, I'm gonna let that dry for a few minutes and while we're painting the other flowers. And I can put a little bit of a bud right here. All right, so let's see the next one we're gonna do. All right, let's put a sunflower on here. Let's see, that's just the plain sunflower that we did in the lesson. Okay, so we're gonna put this right here. Look at this for practicing. So if you do this, you're gonna see that we're gonna pounce this. It's even got numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I'm pouncing that around with my scruffy, all right? So are you thinking about what you can paint on or which flowers you want to do? Well, the more you go see the lessons, the more excited you are going to be to get this kit because it's going to have all kinds of inspiration to make you excited about being able to paint. All right, so now what I want to do, I want to clean the brushes each time, guys, and put them out of our basin. I'm going to lay this out here. That red's getting on everything. There you go. So here's our scruffy. Now what we're going to do is let's read and say what we do. It's right here. It's very clear. We're going to double load the yellow ochre and the licorice. All right. Right now, I'm going to pick up the two colors right here. And I'm going to come right up here. So this is what I want you to see. I'm going to keep the yellow ochre at the top, the licorice down below, and I'm going to come all the way across. Okay, now see, that's what we did right here. So you pounce and practice right here, and you pull your strokes right here. Now this is the same as a one-stroke leaf, so I dampen that. I'm going to come between the two colors, yellow ochre. We got yellow ochre over here and moon yellow, and we work it in. Okay, now from then on, I'm just going to pick up the two colors, flatten it, and stroke. So what you're going to do is we're going to practice here first, push, and stand up to a point. And so you practice that a few times along here till you get them where they're coming straight out. And then later, when you make that green, look at that, it's a leaf. So it's like double duty here when you're practicing that. Okay, so let's put, while this is wet, I'm going to pick up the yellow ochre and moon yellow, and I'm going to grab that in my center here and come all the way around after you practiced. Practice makes perfect. Okay, so we're going to come here. Do we have any questions, Miss Chris?
No, not at this time.
All right, there we go. Now, what's going to happen after we see I lose my center after we've pulled all these petals from it? So we just take our scruffy and we go right back. And we're going to pounce right back over here. All right, so when you see this, we're going to go across the top on the worksheet. If you keep it right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go back over the center. So it should look like almost like a chocolate donut with like maple syrup on top. And then I'm going to have the brown down along here. Okay, so we can also have a little bit of a bud. So we have a bud on that one. We can do a little bit of bud right here on the chisel that we've just practiced. All right, and the last one is going to be the thistle. So one of the things I love about this angle brush is how easy it is to do leaves and stems. So if you end up having a trunk instead of a nice little stem, you're going to love using this angle brush. So the point on this brush is the toe, and the short end of this brush is the heel. And so we're going to let that last little bit of the toe follow behind. Let's pick up these two colors, work them in, more paint, work it in. Okay, you get a little bit of medium, and then we're going to pull some of these stems, okay? Right here, we're going to push right there and slide. Now what I tell you is to bring your little finger. So look, we practice on our guide how to make these little calyx right here. And so you get those over there to remind yourself. And you pull the stem to that down to our hibiscus. Then we're going to practice these leaves on this guy. We're going to pull him here, pick up more paint here, and pull the stem right there. So now watch, I'm going to put some big leaves on it afterwards, but what we're going to do right now is this thistle. So I'm going to go ahead and put the green here, so we're ready to do that. After we practiced these little fun leaves, you can practice on the front after you practice here. So look at this. We're going to take this up to the point and come right back down. And you can put the dark on the outside or the light on the outside. But after you practice this and do these little calyx, it makes it really easy for you to see that you can accomplish this. All right, so we have a box. That's your storage that you can paint and use as a surface. We have 50 flowers and to inspire you. And you're going to learn the flowers and the leaves and the buds. Like on this one, remember what I said, we have got a little bit of a point here. I'm going to pull a stem there. We have 5 brand new brushes that we created. Nice, pretty handles. We have 10 wonderful multi-surface paints that you are going to love, that you can just put those on your table and not even look for any more paints. I said, I love that I don't have to. I can pick out the color that I want and use it on a multitude of great surfaces. All right, so those are the little leaves for the thistle. And then while I'm here, I want to do, with a little bit of medium, I'm going to do the sunflower leaf. Now the sunflower leaf, I'm going to use, you can use a 3/4 or you can use this brush with the angle brush. And I'm using the heel because it's got more strength to go in and out. Okay, and I'm going to turn the brush this way. Now look at what we've done in just a few minutes with 3 guides. All right, 3 guides. Turn on that video and sit and paint with me. Now let's go back. I don't even remember. Let's go back and see what my green looks like. It's because my green's just a stem on here. So let's do that stem. All right, so I'm going to go right in the middle here and picked up the sap green. And then I'm going to pull this out. And I like to kind of say I want it to be here and pull it in and meet it there. All right. And then you could take, I want to get rid of this paint out of here. I can take and make that stamen. All right. You dry your scruffy so the scruffy's ready for the next time you're going to use it. And can you see that I'm fluffing it a little bit in the paper towel? And then I lay it to dry. All right. So what I want to do is use my liner brush right here, and we are going to get little teeny, this is the only brush I use water with. It's okay, Chris, I'll just leave that there. All right, this one, we come right here. Okay, guys, we're going to pull a little stem, and all right. And then all you do on the tip of that is you're going to put little teeny yellow or white little stamens on here. So look, we're going to tap, tap, tap. And let's just see those little teeny little dots I'm putting on there. So I'm showing you that with 3 of your guides, all we have to do is put some thistles on here and we will be done. Okay. So we are, thank you. There we go. So we've got those 2. Look, you can do 2 layers around the sunflower if you're doing a bigger sunflower. So we're going to go right here. It says take your angle brush and we're going to do the violet pansy and wicker white here. And so we're going to pick up both colors and go here and work it in. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. And so it's going to come right in here. And I think the purple and the reds and the yellows look really good on here. Now, if I get too light, I can come back in and now put the purple violet pansy on top. And then you get too much of the purple, you can come back. If you saturate it too much, you can come back and get some more white. But the deal is when you have a flat brush or an angle brush like that, it puts all those colors so you don't have to do one liner stroke at a time. You're multi-loading it and it's going longer and keeping paint in your brush. So I'm going to go back to do the base of these thistles, okay? So see how I did the space right here? I'm coming right under here and coming back up. Can you see it's right here? You practice and wipe it off and practice again, all right? So I have a system. The system makes it step by step so you can learn how to paint any of these flowers that you'd like to learn, okay? We've got the video, the teaching guide, actual size strokes that fit the brush you're going to be using. And so you come right in here. That purple's a little wet, so you're going to come up a little bit. And you just pick up a little bit more paint, see? I wipe off the purple. So you're painting, remember this, you're painting wet on wet. So as you're coming around, the thing that most people say when they're learning is, well, I have to let it dry. But you don't have to let it dry. We are just stroking one stroke on another because we haven't watered it down. So since we have a really nice, thick, rich color paint, then it makes it possible for us to do what we're doing, okay? I'm gonna pull this here, and then we can make a few more little leaves. And you have 3 different flowers from your 50 flowers that you can put together and make any kind of bouquet. I've done some wedding ones. I want you to see that you can make long leaves. And am I missing? No, there we go. So I want to go over one quick time here. Is there anything that I'm missing that I need to bring up, Miss Chris?
Donna, I would love for you, when you're done with that, to raise it up to the camera so everyone can get a nice close-up shot of what you've painted today.
Okay.
And let's be sure and tell everyone about where they can purchase the A to Z one-stroke floral painting kit.
Okay, so you can go to Plaid Crafts Online.
We can go to plaidonline.com. There
yes.
you go.
I'm focusing, sorry. Okay. All right, Plaid Crafts Online.
plaidonline.com.
Sorry.
And there is a 20% off sale right now on our website.
So a big special, so don't miss out. And make sure to go watch those videos and see all the inspiration that you need to inspire you to go pick up your kit.
And if someone is just joining us, Donna, let's tell them one more time where they can actually watch the educational videos.
Okay, you can go to Plaid Crafts on YouTube channel, on their YouTube channel, and all of the A to Z one-stroke flower painting for beginners are right there on their channel. So am I saying it one time? plaidonline.com. I'm sorry, let's focus in. So what do you think, guys? There you go. Just in a few minutes, you can make something happen with a little bit of practice.
And just real quick, a quick rundown of what are the pieces and parts that are involved in this kit, Donna.
Okay, if you just got on, and I wanted you to see now, we're working on getting these brushes clean. All right, there we go. Are we looking up here? So let me show you. We have a wonderful box. And in this box, this is our A to Z kit, A to Z of one-stroke flower painting. You're going to get a surface, which is storage for your flowers. All right, you're going to get this beautiful kit, which has 50 of these reusable teaching guides, and each one of them have the picture alphabetically in here. Go look for it, and then the how-tos on there. It tells you the brushes, the paints, and it's a practice reusable, so you practice on it with a UV coating. You can wipe it off and practice again. And so they all fit in here along with the brushes. These are brand new brushes I'm so excited about, and we have a 3/4 flat, 12 flat, a 2 script liner, a 1/2 inch scruffy, and we have a 5/8 angle brush that I was just showing you. Great handles, quality, they feel yummy just as soon as you pick them up. People say, oh, I love these brushes. Now I knocked some paints over, but we have 10 colors, and those are the 10 colors that paint all of these 50 flowers. And you have a bottle of floating medium. And on top of all that, this is 50 beginner lessons that are on video that you can go anytime and watch them. They're free. You're going to Plaid Craft YouTube channel and look for these A to Z one-stroke flowers. And you are going to have so much fun, I promise you. So pick a flower a day, practice it, work on it, and share. We would love for you to come to our Let's Paint Facebook group and share your pictures, and you put hashtag Let's Challenge?
Let's Paint Challenge.
Let's Paint Challenge.
Yes, that's very
I've been out of focus here for a while. So thank you so much for being on. I had a great time. I hope you did. And y'all keep on painting and share. Bye-bye.